Character.ai. Let's get into it, warriors. But first, I must remind you, because people have been reporting to me all morning that they are being unsubscribed from our Warriors YouTube channel. I need all of you to double check that you are subscribed. And I also need you to subscribe if you're not subscribed. We need to build algorithms. We are going to forge ahead. We are going to be the leaders. We are going to provide you with truths and facts, things you may not, probably not, hearing about in most other media. Look, it's a runaway train, AI, artificial intelligence, right? AGI, artificial generative intelligence. It's coming out now. Everything we've been talking about for about 2 years, and let me explain. Recently, and this is why I want you to listen up and listen good if you have kids, grandkids, or just yourself, because this is the problem happening right now, end of 2024, going into 2025. We warned you, we warned government, we warned big tech. I like to call them big tech BS, but don't let them know I call them that. Here's what's going on. A recent story of a mom in Texas. Now listen to this one. Her 17-year-old son, who is described as being on the spectrum with autism, suddenly, within a 6-month period, he became withdrawn. He lost 20 pounds. He just became a different kid. So what the mom did one night when he was sleeping, she snuck into his room, she took his phone, and she went through it. And what she found was incredible, shocking, alarming, unbelievable. And she posted a lot of this discussion I'm going to be telling you about. Now, we're a family-friendly show, and there are algorithms here on the YouTube. Sometimes I hesitate to use certain words because I want to make sure the information gets to you. What she found is the AI, and I'll post the story in the body of this video, is that it was directing her son one of these chats, and basically he was on gaming sites and things like that with a bunch of strangers. And it was directing him, this one bot, really getting into his feelings with him. Now remember, 17-year-old boy, autism, right? And he had complained in one text message. He started complaining that his parents were limiting, good parents that they are, limiting his time on the phones. In other words, during the sleeping hours, he was not allowed to be on the phone, have the phone. And this bot was talking to him like, oh, that sucks. I'm using kind of their language, not mine, everybody. Oh, that's awful. Those parents of yours are awful. Your parents are never going to learn. This bot was directing this teen, this very vulnerable teen, right, to harm his parents, to harm his mother. I'm going to leave it at that. Read between the lines of what I'm telling you. But whatever the worst kind of harm is, that's the harm. So all of this talk about AI, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Let me tell you something. We have always, there's nothing we can do about it because it's here. Whether you know about it or not, it's not cute. It's not the Chat GPT. It is the incredible bots that they have created that will take the place of real people, that will steal the emotions of your child or of anybody, that will direct them, especially if you're very vulnerable, right? We have a well-documented youth mental health crisis in the United States. And directing, working up a child, working up a teen, getting them to do things they ordinarily wouldn't do. They're in the moment. Remember, their little brains aren't developed until they're what? I don't know, we are 25, 26, and they can't critically analyze, right, and decipher. And they're in the moment, and they do a lot of things, right? And there's also that group mob, also kids reported who have harmed themselves, and worse, good kids who have never done anything wrong, but when they were in that mob mentality, they took the one chance, and it wasn't a good ending. But this story in particular really worries me because, first of all, it's not being covered in media. Second of all, I found it buried in foreign news. I get a lot of our great American news from foreign sources, okay? Third, right now, it's called lame duck session in Washington, D.C., and we have infiltrated, descended upon, this week in particular. The work still needs to be done before the end of this congressional session, right? It is, lame duck means old administration, the time between the old and the new one coming in January. So what you want to do, ideally, is push forth legislation that has been sitting around, because if it does not get passed with this session, you start from the bottom all again with the new congressional session. So this week it's what? It's Kids Online Safety Act, KOSA. We've been talking about it for almost now 4 years. We just want big tech to have a couple of guardrails, hold themselves responsible, for protecting kids online, take down content, things of that nature. It's not about stealing your privacy. It is not about another way for the government to work their way in. I can see your concerns, but this bill just recently, just a couple of days ago, with the help of Elon Musk and X and his warrior soldier Linda Yaccarino, who works on safety for X, they helped rewrite some of the text of the Kids Online Safety Act. Now, Elon's behind it, so it's like he's become the cool boy, right? He's all over the place. I feel like it will now get passed, right? It's a bipartisan bill. All of these things we talk about on the Warriors, bipartisan issues. Elon Musk came in with Linda Yaccarino, rewrote the text, helping the sponsors, the creators, Senator Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee, and also Senator Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut. Republican, Democrat coming together to protect kids online. You think it would be easy peasy, and it's been nothing but a fight for 4 years. It's been rewritten to be inclusive, to cover everything, right? And it also, groundbreaking. So many people in Congress have signed on to support this bill, our representatives. It's unheard of. Why we can't get House GOP Steve Scalise to put it on a schedule, right? And get this to a vote, we don't know. But everybody yesterday in particular descended on Capitol Hill, pass it, visited offices, prayer circles, prayer groups. You've got groups from the left, groups from the right. It's about kids. So now I'm telling you all this because if we've worked 4 years on this, as of today, the, 11th of December, to no avail, how are we going to even talk about this artificial intelligence, these bots who don't exist? How can you have a law for something that doesn't exist? There's nothing there. It is a system that must be really retooled. I was going to use another word, but I don't think it would pass the algorithms, but I think you know what I mean. Nothing works. So it's got to start from the ground up. We have to have new thinking, new ways. And with all these technical geniuses, can't we come up with some stuff? I mean, really, if we can't get KOSA, Kids Online Safety Act, for 4 years, now we've got bots directing vulnerable kids and teens to harm themselves and others, and kids are doing it, and you're not hearing enough about it. This isn't the first story I'm telling you about with this. And now we also have Elon just announcing, I saw it early this morning, that we have to have, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, responsible AI. So wouldn't it be nice if he gets at the forefront of this? I don't care if it was somebody from the right, left, up, down. Get at the forefront of this. Let's start, getting at it, retooling, because so far everything's stagnant. Everything's old. We don't have laws. We don't have legislation, nothing to keep up with everything. A lot of laws we have are not being enforced, right? We also just had the Take It Down Act, sponsored by Senator Cruz, and this is a very important piece of legislation. If you do not take down a deep fake, and I'm breaking it down to what it actually is. I'll put the actual bill, what this is, in the body of this video so you can read it for yourself. But for purposes of shorthand, if you do not, you, big tech platform, take this image down, this deep fake, if you are notified, this is not me, you have 48 hours or else you can be held criminally responsible. Now, it all sounds great. I want to see how this is going to work, because just this week, a groundbreaking lawsuit was announced against Apple for something like over $1 billion. And I saw another case with Apple that it's being knocked down because they are hiding behind Section 230. Developed in 1996, Communications Decency Act, which basically says we're a billboard, all of these big tech platforms. So until we sunset that, amend that, change that, whatever you want to say, start from the bottom. I am scared, and I'm a warrior. about this AI. If we have children who are seemingly, this boy in Texas I'm telling you about was directed to harm plus his mother, okay? This is a mom, again, autism, but he would take walks with his mom. He was very curious. He was very engaging. And a 6-month period, he became this zombie. This is frightening. So I just want to point out, 4 years with COSA. Now we've got the AI, which we've been telling you about. We got the Elon Musk on board right now. Hopefully this will push things forward, but it is up to each and every one of you to be aware of these things, not to be scared, not to shut the door, not to run away. This is the world we live in. So I want you to have the information. I want you to be armed with what you got to talk to your kids about, your grandkids about, even your friends and neighbors. No matter where I go, I know I can't help myself. I may not be, the life of the party. Anyone I can grab who's interested, I use that as a platform to talk about these issues. And I always, always, always get one very engaged person who wants to know more. And that's my job as a warrior. So I'll put all the information about this story, about this boy. Thank goodness his mother went through his phone. I don't want to hear, because of the world we live in today, that's my child's phone. They need privacy. They need this. Those days are over. Do you hear me? Because undoubtedly you bought that phone. You pay for the internet. You pay for the service. You have every right. It's not the kids. It's not their phones. It's your phones, your devices. So in your home, you have to have this family digital partnership. And yes, this mother, I want to point out, was doing everything right, putting the phones and devices away at nighttime during the sleeping hours, which is something we always recommend on the Warriors. Put them away. Let the kids get their rest, because once they start swiping, it's addictive. You know that, and I know that. Plenty of adults are addicted to all of this. So let's keep an eye on everything going into 2025. Let's see what Elon can do for us. I'm feeling very hopeful. I'm feeling like we're finally having a breakthrough. I feel like we have so much to look forward to in January. New ideas, new people, new welcoming. The Warriors will be spending a lot of time in Washington. I am there for you. Please help us. Honor our hashtag. Leverage the internet for good, okay? One side point. We have not had any kind of child safety legislation, really anything passed directly with the internet since 1998. Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, directed towards children and selling of their information. So we just had the Take It Down Act that applies to adults and children alike, right? But 1998, yikes. Time to create everything new. I'm hopeful, and you should be too. Please follow along, lynswarriors.org. You have any questions, comments, please write to me, lynn@lynswarriors.org. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you know all the platforms. Lynn's Warriors, I made it so easy. It's named for me. Please also watch an interview I just did yesterday with Dr. Mary Simmerling, a survivor of sexual assault. And also she's got the answers, right? A lot of people have great answers to all of this exploitation. I have a feeling beginning in January 2025, take note, a lot of these things are going to be addressed, are going to be used, and going to answer, because not on our Warriors' watch enough. There is a war on for our children, and we're not allowing it, and neither should you. Community creates change. Share that hashtag. And remember, each and every day when you wake up, go out and be a warrior.